Wow, Sina.
Another day, another dollar I'm saving just to be broke. They say college was serious, but my degree feel like a joke. 4 years or less, I'm sane. I got it done, no playing, just to end up at my mom's after I told her I wasn't staying. Well, here we are, no question I'm a star. Just got some light years to travel, but it's just so far. But I'ma make it though, make sure you get your focus right. You coming too, it's about to be one hell of a ride. Yeah, this adults and stuff is crazy, they ain't warn us about this. I'm supposed to live my best life on an unpaid internship. I'm supposed to find my husband, everybody running game. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Went from worrying about on flow to running from Uncle Sam. Now I understand why student accounts never gave a damn. Saving accounts be slipping, trying to work out, but I'm tripping. I forgot health insurance. Oh, I'm my mom's until I'm 26, so I gotta pay these student loans. That's adults with the score doing the most. That's adulting, moving out of mom's house. That's adulting, but it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting, cause these bills got me in trouble. That's adulting. The journey's course is never planned. That's adulting. Just leave it in God's hands, cause that's adulting.
Hey, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the School of Life podcast. Y'all, you already know what I'm about to say. I'm excited. I need to find a new adjective. Like, can somebody DM me, comments, leave a review, something? I need new adjectives because excited, girl, you've been saying that for 4.5 years. Anyways, I truly am really glad to be in a space where I can talk about today's topic. And I'm sure you know from the title, we are talking healthy relationships. Now, y'all know I don't do a whole lot of relationship content and topics and all the things because at my core, I believe that people have to do what works for them. Like what works for your household may not work for my household, and that is okay. Like we need to get to a place where we respect that everyone's different, and that is fine. But anyways, I felt that this was a great topic because whatever you're doing in your household, I am a big advocate for it being the healthiest that it can be. And so I want to take some time to share personal reflections and things that I have learned, and really just make this a space where we're learning together. Not that I feel I know it all, because I absolutely do not. And I've shared numerous times that this podcast is not a I know it, you don't, so listen to me, but more so, this is my experience. If it's yours, then it shows you're not alone. And if it's not, we can learn from one another. So, anyways, so you want to be in a healthy relationship. That's what we're talking about today. We're going to dive into what healthy romantic relationships look like and the work that it takes to sustain them. More specifically, I'm going to talk about the importance of true commitment, communication, and comprehension, and collaboration in fostering this healthy relationship. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, y'all know the drill. Grab your note taking tools because School of Life is now in session. So let's talk about commitment to growth. I think this is a great place to start this conversation about being in a healthy relationship. You have to be committed to growing. And when I say committed to growing, like it sounds just like, oh, yeah, I can do that. But no, really. You have to make up in your mind that I am committed to growing with this person, no matter what that looks like within my boundaries. Now, obviously, everyone's boundaries are different. But what does it look like to you? For me specifically, that commitment for my partner and I looks like growing. We're both growing in great positive ways in our career and as people. But sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, growth comes with growing pains. And so my commitment is no matter what your growing pains look like, I'm here. And his commitment to me is no matter what my growing pains look like, I am here. And so when the days are long and, the day feels like it's just, oh my gosh, so heavy, that commitment is still there. So you and your partner should Decide what does our commitment to growth look like. If you're growing professionally, if you're growing as a mom, if you're growing as a dad, as a husband, as a wife, like what does that commitment to your partner look like, and what does growth look like? I think it's really important that we define, okay, where are we growing right now? My partner and I, we are growing a lot in our personal goals. Luckily and very fortunately, our personal goals align, but the growth is like rapid. It's like a flood, which is really, really good. But that comes with its share of growing pains. And so that commitment to one another contributes to what this healthy relationship looks like. Another part of this commitment to growth, and this is one that's I'm still working on. I'm still working on. I've gotten better, but admitting mistakes. And it wasn't that I thought I was always right in relationships, but younger me, y'all know that TikTok. Younger me was like, let's find a way to make sure you're always right. Older me, girl, you're gonna be single and alone with 5 cats if you keep on going. Admitting mistakes and owning up to your mistakes really feed into this growth that you want to see in your partner and truthfully in yourself. You want to be humble and vulnerable enough to say, I am wrong. I have wronged you, and I love you more than I am committed to being right about this problem. So please forgive me. Let's move forward. Let's fix this. That right there, that's real commitment to growth because it removes the not even pressure, but it removes this sense of like, I always have to be right. Now, sometimes I do have to be right because I know deep down that I am right. But at my core and very baseline for my relationship, having the emotional intelligence to say, hey, babe, you know what? That's on me. That's on me. That right there, if you can do that, you have like, that's 50% of the battle right there because we are not always going to be right. And it's important for our partners to know that we are not always right. So, admitting your mistakes. Another thing I have here that funnels into this commitment to grow is taking time to understand. We can do a whole episode on active listening, listening to understand, showing empathy. But I had just jotted down some keywords that came to mind when I was thinking about what does it mean to take time to understand. I would sum it up as valuing the open and honest communication that it takes to resolve conflict. I'm going to say that again. Valuing the open and honest communication that it takes to resolve conflicts. That to me is not only a sum of taking time to understand, but it helps us get to understanding quicker. When we can value that this person is being open and honest, we can get to the goal way, way quicker. Way quicker. When we are listening just to respond, we're getting nowhere. We're getting nowhere. But when we can say in our minds, you know what, my partner is taking time to be vulnerable, to be open, to share XYZ, let me hush, let me sit down and understand truly what he or she is saying. That's a different level. And then the fourth thing in this bucket, um, making space for growth. We talked about what growth looks like and how people can be growing in the same direction or different directions or in different aspects of their lives. But I think it's important to make space for that growth, which comes with being patient, being understanding, creating time to bond with one another around this growth, respecting space that they may need to grow. Like all of those things that we sometimes are in such a rush in our day to day that we don't think about. Like, what does it mean to make space for this person to grow? When you can do that, oh my gosh. Plus, take time to understand, plus, admit your mistakes, plus, have this overall commitment to growth. Girl, boy, you got it. You got it. So commitment to growth like encompasses, as I see it, those four things. I want to go into communication. Child, Communication. So we want to have a healthy relationship. We hear this all the time. Let's be honest. Social media is like, communicate. You just gotta communicate. Hush. Mute. Like silence the word. We have to comprehend because we can communicate all day, every day till we're blue in the face. But if we're not comprehending, then it's going in one ear and out of the other. Also, if we're not understanding what communication means to our partner, we're going nowhere fast. Communication to me could be after this problem, we're gonna sit down and talk about it. To my boo, babe, give me 10 minutes to gather my thoughts. Give me five. Chat listen. Fun fact. Well, not even fun fact, but personal story, I guess. I like to talk about the problem immediately. You stepped on my toe, sit down. Let's talk about it right now. I want to talk about the problem at this very moment. My man, chat, I stepped on your toe. I apologize. Let me just take some time to reflect on the angle in which I stepped on the toe, and then we can talk about it. I'm just kidding. That's a little dramatic. But I think for the most part, most guys are like that. Y'all let me know. Somebody let me know if that's the case. Because sometimes I be talking to the girls and they're like, yeah, he be need his time, he be need his space, and we be ready. Go, go. Y'all probably hear me snapping. Go, go, go. We want to talk about it right now. However, and ladies, this is for us. We have to get to a point where we understand what communication looks like. Because I used to be like, wait, you're not communicating with me. He would be like, I am. I just want 10 minutes to gather my thoughts. And I'm like, well, the thoughts should be gathered. They should already be there because mine are there. See, we were missing each other. We were missing, it was a misfire. We were talking, but no one was comprehending, or maybe I wasn't comprehending. Let me own that. See, look, I made my mistakes. Anyways, when it comes to communication, I say all that to say it's important to understand how one another defines communication and what that looks like for y'all's relationship. I want to make sure I emphasize what it looks like for y'all's relationship. My boo taking 10 minutes may not be acceptable in another relationship, and that's okay. That is okay. I accept that. And I love that about him because when he comes back, it's like we cool, we copacetic. And so in your relationship, y'all both may want to talk about it at that moment, and that is completely okay. So again, I have to say I can have a whole episode on this, but understanding what communication means to the both of you. Another thing I want to touch on here is one way that I have personally improved my own communication skills is using I statements when I'm talking about myself. Like I don't want to put blame anywhere that it doesn't belong. And so if that means I own my statements, that's what I do. I also have stopped discussing feelings as facts. And I learned this. I kind of knew it, but recently at a job, what did we have? Retreat. I couldn't even get the words. At a retreat, we had a consultant come in and talk about something called the communication wheel. And it talked about, or it displayed or showed rather, that most times we're talking from feelings. I think there's like a statistic 70 something percent of the things we say are feelings. That could be wrong. I know it's high. It's more than 70%. So it's either 70, 80, or 90. But anyways, a lot of times we're not talking from facts. And so in my relationship, I make it a point to try. I am not perfect, but I try to talk from facts. Also, in talking from facts, I have made an intentional effort to not use blanket statements such as you always or you never. And there's another word for those types of statements. But I saw on TikTok, maybe like last year, this lady was talking about how in her relationship, they have removed always and never because it negates what that person has done. So if I was like, you never take out the trash. And he's like, "But I took out I only missed it one day, you know." By the way, my boo takes out the trash faithfully, okay? So that was a bad example. Um, but the point is, like, not using never and always so that you don't offend what that person has done, or you always call me late. No, I only called you late today. Like, come on, let's be real. And so when thinking about communication, we have to own what comes out of our mouths as well. So we want to obviously understand what communication looks like to our partner, but then own what's coming out of our mouths. And then lastly, for the communication piece, I think it's important to point out that you want to get to a place where you look at challenges as you and your partner against a challenge, not me versus you. And that's something honestly that I'm still working on like getting better at. I feel like I do a good job, but sometimes it's like, no, it's me and you because you done pissed me off, you done made me mad. But at the end of the day, it really has to be you and your partner against whatever challenge that y'all are facing and coming against that challenge with teamwork, communicating what that teamwork looks like, discussing why this even is a challenge, owning up to it, making sure that we're speaking from facts and not feelings. Like all of those things play into how you really navigate the challenges together. Okay, so let's pause there and let me do a quick little synopsis because I feel like I gave you a ton of little nuggets and I want to make sure we got them all. So, we're going to have a commitment to growth in order to nurture and build even healthier relationships. Or if you are not in a healthy one, you just want to start building one. The first thing we're going to have is a commitment to growth. That commitment to growth is going to encompass admitting our mistakes, taking time to understand, and making space for each other to grow. In addition to our commitment to growth, we are going to communicate and comprehend effectively. And so we're going to define what communication looks like. We're going to talk to our partners about how they like to be communicated to. And we're going to have a mindset of we communicate about challenges as us versus the challenge. And then you go from there. With that in mind, I want to share three practical strategies that have helped me maintain a healthy relationship. And I'm sure my boo, he won't mind me sharing these. So, three practical strategies that have helped me maintain a healthy relationship. The first one, creating routines that work for us. Y'all, I have to admit, my personal routines suck. Okay. I'm working on them. I'm working on them. But when it comes to me and my boo, relational routines, they work. They work for us. And that could be your routine, could be something as simple as how you fold the laundry or how you do laundry, how you go grocery shopping. Like I know every 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to Costco. We're going to get up on Saturday. I may cook breakfast. We're gonna eat our breakfast, and I'm probably cooking bacon and pancakes with a side of fruit. We're gonna get dressed and we're gonna go to Costco. That is a routine for us. And as trivial as it sounds, I look forward to our Costco days. Like I'll be like, babe, we going to Costco this weekend? Yes, that's me. I love Costco and my man. But having that routine is what creates that like, oh, we're going to Costco. Girl, I can't go. I gotta go to Costco with my man. Something as trivial as that, all the way up to maybe at night, y'all decide, okay, we're gonna sit down and read together. Like whatever works for your relationship, create routines. They help maintain that healthiness, right? The second thing, prioritize quality time. So y'all hear all the time how when you were younger, not younger, when you first started dating, y'all would go out and y'all was whining and dining, blah, 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 all of that. All of it is still important. Still important, excuse me. Y'all have heard the saying time and time again. You gotta do the things you did to get her to keep her, whatever the people say. But prioritizing that quality time can look like shared activities, adventures, new experiences, paint a sip in the house, movie night, like whatever it is, the quality time that we are intentional about has continuously contributed to a healthy relationship. And then lastly, seek support and resources. Now, I want to tread lightly here because seek support and resources, not in the sense of like you need to be telling all your business to everybody to get support in that way, but having your sounding boards who actually care about the maintenance of your healthy relationship. Sometimes that's your parents. Sometimes it's a therapist, a licensed therapist. Sometimes it may be a church member or your pastor, like whatever that looks like for y'all. Um, do that thing. For resources, that could be a number of things. Y'all, I love me TikTok. And we'll talk about the band another day. But I have learned so much about creating a healthy relationship because let's be honest, you have to create it. You don't fall into a healthy relationship. You have to create the type of relationship that you want. And so resources for me looks like books. There are a couple of women who actually women and men who I follow on TikTok who have great advice. There are podcasts I listen to. I haven't quite graduated to like conferences and stuff. I don't know if I will, but the resources that I surround myself with contribute to how I show up. And obviously, that's in a healthy way. Another thing I want to add that I forgot in the creating routines is we do a cadence of meetings, like check in meetings. At the very beginning of our relationship, we would do monthly, and y'all, the monthly meetings, they listen, they will change the whole course of your relationship in a good way. Like we would have whole agendas. These are the 5 things we're talking about. Let's dive in. These are the action items. Like, listen, the monthly meetings hit every single time. And so I want to just drop that little nugget as we're thinking about routines and what's working for people. That is something that we do, and I love our check-in meetings, like, love, 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 love them. I'm gonna have to put in the show notes, maybe, if I remember, some of the questions that we ask in our check-in meetings so that other people out there can listen and maybe implement them in your own relationships. But I would probably say that is the number 2 thing that we have done that has, continued to grow and strengthen our relationship because the check-ins are the place where, like, if you have concerns, if you have, things you want to talk about that can be seen as hard conversations, if there's something that you thought you had gotten over but you hadn't, like, this is the place to do it, and you're not doing it on a random Tuesday when I'm painting my fingernails because what? Not that my man's done that, but sometimes you will bother your partner very randomly and they looking at you like, but I'm playing the game. What you mean I pissed you off last Saturday at 3 o'clock when we was at Jenny's barbecue? Yeah, y'all know. Y'all already know. Anyways, in the routines, double click on having your monthly meetings in your routine section. Think about it. It has changed the game for us. So, wrapping up, strategies that have helped me create a routines, especially my Costco trips and our monthly meetings, prioritizing quality time, new adventures, like seeing things, doing things with your boo, and then seeking support and resources, whatever that looks like for your relationship. Let me summarize my takeaways. At the end of the day gonna end. No, I'm just kidding. At the end of the day, we have to do what works for our own relationships. However, that doesn't mean that we can't share things that work because one person's working may work in another relationship. Something that I say, you may say, okay, boo, we're going to start doing our monthly check ins and that works great. Or you may start doing them and y'all hate it. Like that may not be y'all thing. Whatever the case, it's important to share and have these conversations because we can all learn something from one another. As long as there's that commitment to growth and that comprehension and communication, very heavy on the comprehension, you're on the right path to nurturing and building your healthy romantic relationship. All right, before we get out of here, y'all know what time it is. We got homework. So this week, I have another two-part homework, I guess, option for you. The first one is going to be your monthly relationship check-in. Now, I know I said that it may or may not work for you, and it may not, but I want you to try it because the check-in is such a big part of making space to grow, communicating and comprehending, like valuing the openness that it requires. I am a believer that the check in can and will work for everyone. So, homework challenge, have a monthly check in with your boo. If you need some agenda ideas, you can talk about issues or concerns. You can set goals for the next month. And I think it's important to highlight what has gone well. Like, we're not just coming to the table with a whole bunch of issues, but we're going to talk about what has gone well for us. And if y'all can't think of anything that has gone well, then y'all may need to revisit this relationship. But no, really, I want to challenge you to have a monthly check in with your boo. The second piece, and you can take it or leave it because y'all probably already doing this, but do some sort of new quality time activity. So if it's cooking a meal, if it's going on a walk, exploring a new hobby, maybe it's painting, taking a piano lesson. I don't know what you and your man and your girl into, but whatever that looks like, that's going to be your challenge, and not for this week, but maybe for the summer. Like, find one quality time activity that is new and do that, and you will begin to see, wow, okay, we are in a better space, or we are growing in this space, and it's contributing to the health of the relationship. All right, friends, that wraps up another episode of the School of Life podcast. As always, I hope you learned something new or gained some sort of new insight, because that is why this podcast exists. Keep fighting, keep pushing, keep evolving. Talk to you soon. Enjoying the School of Life podcast? Be sure to catch us on YouTube at School of Life Podcast and follow us on Instagram at School of Life Podcast. Also, follow Miss Jaye at _ MISSJAYE on Instagram and TikTok.
Gotta pay these student loans. That's adulting. For the score, doing the most. That's adulting. Moving out of mom's house. That's adulting. But it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting. 'Cause these bills got me in trouble.